Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be going over some of the best big Herta teams. And before we get into today's video, I would love to know which character from 3.0 and beyond you were the most excited for. Lastly, if you enjoy videos like these, do make sure to subscribe, leave a like, support the video, and now let's get straight into it. To start off today's video, I thought we can go over Herta's character overview, which the Herta is going to be an Ice Erudition character who focuses on stacking interpretation stacks onto enemies to improve her damage output, and she will also heavily benefit from having another Erudition character on the team, as this will further increase her damage output. When it comes to who Herta enjoys having on the team, it would be allies with high attacking frequency, as this allows for interpretation to quickly stack onto enemies, and the maximum stacks is 42 stacks. And then when it comes to just Herta's damage output, a huge source of her damage output will be her enhanced skill, which she does get this enhanced skill after using her ultimate, and if you do have the maximum 42 stacks on a primary target, this will allow Herta to be able to deal the maximum amount of damage onto that enemy. As for having Erudition allies on the team, they'll be very useful for being able to nicely assist with stacking interpretation, especially if you have an Erudition ally who's able to either use their ultimate very frequently, have high speed so they can attack very frequently to inflict interpretation onto enemies, and them being on the team, as I've mentioned, will further Herta's damage output. It's a really similar case, and I've said this in my previous videos, very similar to Acheron in a way, where Acheron wants Nihility allies to be able to further her damage output as well as benefit from their debuffing capabilities. In Herta's case, she benefits from not only the AoE attacks for the interpretation stacks, but also being able to actually deal more damage when another Erudition ally is on the team. So because of that, most teams will consist of having at least one other Erudition character to be able to fully take advantage of Herta's kit. As for some quick noteworthy things about her kit in particular, whenever she uses her ultimate, she will be able to rearrange the interpretation stacks onto an elite level or higher enemy, which means that let's say a little mob enemy, like a little enemy had 42 stacks, but ideally you'd want these stacks on the big boss you are facing or the elite enemy. Her ultimate is actually going to be able to rearrange the stacks so that there is not wasted damage output when you use her enhanced skill afterwards, as Herta will be able to use her enhanced skill after using her ultimate. Now that we've done a quick character overview of Herta, just what type of character she is and what she prioritizes, which is the interpretation stacks as well as having another Erudition character on the team, let's actually go over some team synergies and explain why these team synergies are really good for her. So here we are with our big Herta teams. We have our little Herta Tribbie on the screen here. And for our first couple teams, I actually want to go over more free-to-play options, and then we can get into more premium characters as well. For our first team, we actually have Herta alongside little Herta with Remembrance Trailblazer, and then for our final slot, it'll just end up being a sustain of your choice. You can use Gallagher, and you can also have him equipped Quid Pro Quo just to give the team more energy. You can use Huohua, as she will be able to increase the team's attack, be able to cleanse the team very well, provide nice healing, as well as also provide energy, which is very helpful for allowing big Herta to be able to use her ultimate sooner, as her ultimate will enable her to get her enhanced skill, which once again is a huge source of her damage output. So being able to get more energy is very useful. And then there's also Aventurine. The reason why Lingsha and Aventurine can be pretty nice options is because of their attacking frequency. The more the team gets attacked, the more possibilities for Aventurine to unleash a follow-up attack onto enemies. Lingsha is really nice in the case of having high attacking frequency, especially because all of her attacks, when it comes to her skill, her ultimate, her follow-up, are AoE centric. So this will also help out with stacking interpretation, and Lingsha also makes a very good deck collector in the case of Jade, and I'll be able to go over this once we show off the Jade team. When it comes to little Herta will be able to, of course, deal AoE damage onto enemies, plus you have a big Herta, little Herta team, so this is very fun to mess around with. And then when it comes to our support of choice, now, of course, you can use a different support than Remembrance Trailblazer, but if you don't have too many options, then Remembrance Trailblazer can be a very nice option to consider, as they will be able to provide 100% advance forward to an ally whenever Mem is fully charged, as well as allow that ally to deal true damage onto enemies. So what you could end up doing with Remembrance Trailblazer, and this is applied to other teams as well, is use them as a way to allow big Herta's attacks to deal true damage, which will definitely help out in the case of dealing just additional damage output in general. And of course, the 100% advance forward allows Big Herta to attack a bit more frequently, which can allow you to stack more interpretation. It can allow you to get a bit more energy, as you will be able to now attack once again. And of course, as I mentioned, the true damage is just a very big benefit, as this will definitely help out with your damage output when it comes to Big Herta's attacks. So this is a very nice free-to-play centric team. Now, of course, if you don't have any of the sustains on screen except for Gallagher, that's perfectly fine as well. I would more than likely equip him with Quid Pro Quo, as this will allow him to regenerate more energy for allies on the team. But another synergy I wanted to go over is replacing Little Herta with Serval. Now, I'm personally a huge fan of this particular synergy, as Serval will be really nice when it comes to being able to use frequent ultimates, especially if you have her built for it. And what I mean by this is if you have the Passkey Light Cone on her, which is a 3-star Light Cone by the way, as well as equipping her with an energy regen robe, potentially considering the Von Weck set, and of course just taking advantage of her kit in general, you will be able to get very frequent ultimates. When I did test this sort of build, if there are multiple enemies on the field, you could actually end up getting a 1-turn ultimate if you are to use your skill on, let's say, multiple enemies on the field. With the Passkey Light Cone, as well as building her with an energy regen robe, she is able to get a bunch of energy back, which allows her to frequently use her ultimate, and this now results in getting a bunch of interpretation stacks onto enemies, which will assist Herta in the case of when she does use her ultimate and then uses her enhanced skill. This will allow Herta to be able to deal that maximum amount of damage, as you will be trying to build towards those 42 stacks, and Serval is a really nice option for essentially being a battery for Big Herta. Overall, it's a very nice synergy, as Serval does have a very low energy cost of only 100, which is why with the combination of that particular build, you will be able to get very frequent ultimates. And in the case of Remembrance Trailblazer, they're here once again, as they'll do the same thing in the last team, where they'll be able to advance forward Herta, which means you're attacking more frequently, but also the true damage, which the true damage will nicely be able to contribute towards her dealing way more damage onto enemies. And then for the sustains, I actually really like Huohuo in the case of this particular team. Of course, once again, you can use Gallagher with Quid Pro Quo, but the reason I really like Huohuo is she's able to provide more energy for Remembrance Trailblazer, for the Herta. And let's say Serval was a little bit off from getting her ultimate, being able to use Huohuo's ultimate will be able to then get Serval her ultimate back if she was just a little bit off. So overall, Huohuo is a really nice sustain for this particular team. And once again, you can use the other options as well, as they're all very viable options to consider using. I will also be showcasing this particular team very soon, so do stay tuned for that, and let me know if there's any particular teams you really want to see me showcase, as I can try to make a priority list of which showcases to do first. But this one definitely will be one of the very first ones I do end up showing on the channel. Now I wanted to go over Jade and Big Herta. So in the case of Jade and Herta, what you can end up doing is if you do have Lingsha on the team, you can actually make Lingsha the debt collector for Jade. As I mentioned earlier, Lingsha has a very high attacking frequency with her skill, ultimate, and follow-ups. Because of that, she will be able to generate a lot of stacks for Jade, which then results in Jade unleashing more follow-ups, and that then results in more interpretation stacks, as well as also just being very beneficial for the Herta on this particular type of team. You can use a character like Remembrance Trailblazer for the same reasons I've previously stated, just for the 100% advance forward, as well as the true damage when it comes to Herta being able to deal more damage onto enemies, but you can also use alternative supports as well. For example, you can use Robin. She will be able to provide really nice buffs when it comes to damage buffs, attack buffs, the 100% advance forward for the team, which now allows you to stack even more interpretation as well as regenerate more energy, which can result in you potentially using another ultimate before the cycle ends. So Robin is a very nice option when it comes to using on this type of team, and she can also be used on the previous teams I've mentioned as well. Another option can actually be Sunday and Big Herta, which I'm actually a huge fan of using them together. The reason why is because Sunday will be able to provide 100% advance forward for the Herta, which allows her now to attack more frequently. So if you were to speed tune it where Sunday is 1 speed or more below the Herta, this allows Herta to attack, and then Sunday would go and then advance her forward, and then she'd be able to attack again, which now results in her attacking more frequently, regenerating a bit more energy so that she can use her ultimate a bit more frequently, and so on. If you do decide to go attack boots Herta though, what you could end up doing is having a very fast Sunday, And with a very fast Sunday, you can kind of play it similar to how Sparkle would be played. Other benefits that Sunday would be able to provide is, of course, the energy. Now, when it comes to the energy, this will be very beneficial for Herta, as once again, her ultimate plus her enhanced skill will be a huge source of damage output, especially her enhanced skill. So because of that, Sunday will be able to provide that additional energy, which will allow you to get closer to using Big Herta's ultimate. And if you do have Huahua on the team as well, now this is even more additional energy. Other benefits that Sunday would provide is, of course, the damage buffs, the crit damage, the crit rate, and so on. So Sunday, in my opinion, is a really nice option to actually use alongside Big Herta. And of course, you can use alternative supports as well. For example, Ruame will be able to provide team-wide buffs for the team. Kayla will be able to reduce all enemy defenses, which now allows the entire team to deal more damage onto enemies. And of course, there are more and more options you can consider with Big Herta, as there are plenty of supports that can provide some sort of benefit for her that is very worthwhile. I mentioned, of course, Remembrance Trailblazer, who's a completely free-to-play option, and if you don't have, once again, many options, then Remembrance Trailblazer will be a very nice option to consider using. Now, I thought it's also worth noting, if you do not have Lingsha and you end up making the Herta the deck collector, this is fine as well, but you would want to potentially have the Herta attack more frequently. Now, what's really nice about Jade's skill in particular is that it will provide an ally 30 speed. So let's say your Herta was at 134, just 135 speed, for example. Then now with Jade's skill, you will be at 164 speed, or 165 if you are at 135. You do have a way for Herta to attack more frequently. This will still be able to nicely generate stacks for Jade, and in that particular case, if you are using a character like Sunday, who's advancing forward Herta after she acts, in the case of Herta being of course faster than Sunday, then this could end up working out nicely for Jade to be able to get her stacks. Now I thought I'd just talk about general characters you can also use alongside Herta. So one of them is actually Argenti. Argenti's in Herta slot. Okay, let me move him to the side. In content that consists of multiple enemies on the field, as Argenti will be able to nicely regenerate energy for his ultimate. And this can of course result in Argenti being able to assist with interpretation stacks, plus he's a nice source of additional damage output for the team, and the supports and sustain would be up to you at that point. But I think Argenti can be a decent option as well. And we also do have Himiko. Now in the case of Himiko, if she is able to unleash frequent follow-up attacks, then this can be very good, as this will result in nice AoE frequency. So let's say enemies were fire weak, what you could end up doing is, let's say you had a character like Lingsha on the team to also help out with this, then this can result in enemies being broken more frequently, which can result in Himiko being able to unleash more follow-ups and of course sack interpretation and just be able to help out Big Herta. But this would ultimately just come down to if you are able to have your Himiko have a good amount of attacking frequency. And when it comes to Big Herta in general, there are multiple options of course you can use, as I've been going through in this video. I'm personally a really big fan when it comes to free-to-play options. I am a fan of Serval, as when it comes to Big Herta, you honestly don't need premium options for her to be able to function nicely. The reason I say this is because we are getting Remembrance Trailblazer in the very next patch, so this will allow you to already get a nice free-to-play option for her. But then of course Serval is free, and then Little Herta is free as well. So you can use one of them, and then for your sustain of choice, you can just end up picking Gallagher with Quid Pro Quo. Huahua is a very nice option in my opinion, just for the energy she'll be able to grant the team. Then of course there is Lingsha because she has high attacking frequency, and then Aventurine could be a nice option as well if you are getting attacked pretty often, as this will allow him to unleash frequent follow-ups onto enemies, which can assist with the interpretation stacks as I've mentioned. So there's definitely a lot of varieties in what you can use with Big Herta when it comes to premium teams as well as more budget-friendly teams, which I think is honestly great that she does have both of these options where you can go more budget-friendly, or if you really want to go all out with premium options, you could do that as well. When it comes to her overall value, I'll be able to give a more firm stance on this once I am able to showcase her on the channel, which once again, if you guys have any particular showcases you want me to show off, do let me know and I'll be glad to do that for you. But so far, I do think once again, it is very awesome that she does have variety in who you can use alongside with her. But that'll be all for today. I would love to know what Herta teams you guys are planning on using, or if you even have a team suggestion of your own. I hope you all did enjoy this video, and if you did, do make sure to subscribe, leave a like, support the video, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.